The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom has been officially announced as well as the release date, and since that miraculous moment, there has been so many fantastic theories about what we have seen in the very brief trailer, and in this video I want to shine a light on those amazing theories and give you, Zelda crew, the recognition you deserve. Let's do it. Often, people's theories of discoveries hidden within the small details Nintendo releases are based on wishful thinking, vivid imagination, or outright silliness. But honestly speaking, I love that because it just goes to show you how much we all love and adore this amazing franchise. It's always so fascinating to me as a creator to look over them, hoping to spot some truth to these theories, if any, and the odd few that really make little to no sense. If you haven't seen the trailer yet, I'll be sure to link it in the description below. It's absolutely packed with little details, Easter eggs, and other hidden goodies that are just waiting to be talked about. Some of my favorites are always the JPEGs covered in red circles and lines, which most of the time look like the Zelda fandom took hours and hours to make. Here's a mighty fine one from Reddit user What Was That Howl, which claims to prove multiple crossovers with Twilight Princess, especially the existence of Twilight and their Twilight Realm. A lot of people are assuming the title says tears, as in crying, but what if it's tears, as in rips in reality? This has since been confirmed by Nintendo that it is indeed tears like crying, not tears like a rip in your jeans or something like that. It's worth noting that Breath of the Wild heavily featured ruins from a prehistoric tribe called the Zonai, though the game never really explained any of it, and you yourself would have most likely missed the ruins if you're just going from point A to point B in Breath of the Wild and barely exploring anything. How do you know that, D-Rock? Well, because I'm one of the ones that didn't even come across the ruins in my first couple playthroughs. In a lot of the earlier trailers we got for Tears of the Kingdom, it does suggest that timelines are being combined somehow. So the poster here kind of speculates that since this new trailer is now showing off some of the ancient ruins and connecting them to the Twilight from Twilight Princess, then it follows that the Zonai are descended from them in a way. Of course, once you start digging into Zelda timelines, a migraine or a shot of whiskey is never off the table. We know there are 3 separate ones that exist at this point, each having split from Ocarina of Time, the so-called adult timeline, and the contradicting restoring fallen hero timeline, or as I like to put it, they just started random stories with the same characters and then tried to retrospectively force it into making some kind of sense. Anyway, none of that matters too much, given that the official The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild Creating a Champion book states that, according to the Zelda fandom site, quote, everything before Breath of the Wild's backstory has faded into myth. Reddit user Lentorian managed to find the location of a scene from Tears of the Kingdom's trailer in the original Breath of the Wild, confirming the game is set at least in part on the same map, which is something we all pretty much know. But of course, we also know that the sequel will feature a lot of sky-based shenanigans, with floating islands and Link being able to glide about between them, you know, Silver Surfer style. Isaac Mirandon on Twitter scoured the background details of the trailer especially carefully and spotted the strange green swirly-whirly patterns poking up from the ground in various places. I know I said I was highlighting your theories here, but I want to throw my own in this video. So I think that my theory here is going to be that these are going to be sort of launching pads that when you step into them, it's going to fling Link up into the air and it's going to allow him to paraglide to new areas above. It's kind of like Rivali's Gale, but not really, if that makes sense. We, in fact, saw something similar to this in 2021's trailer, where Link turns into a droplet and floats upward, seemingly in reverse. You've also got a lot of people spotting the new device on Link's hip, and this is interesting. The most popular theory online is that this device contains those tears, the kingdom ones. And during the trailer, you sort of see the same object, but it's only half full. Speaking of tears, kudos to Intent Studios on Reddit for this "oh yeah" moment. Now, in more wishful thinking territory are various theories that attempt to match obscure shapes or twisty patterns with just about anything from the history of the franchise. At this point, it's basically a test that says more about the poster than anything. Here, for instance, is the desperate hope that a barely visible blur, one that is more likely one of the platforms that Link surfs elsewhere in the trailer, might be one of the scrapped concepts for a divine beast from Breath of the Wild. Others suggest a dragon, but you know, it's probably just a platform. And hey, listen, Zelda crew, having the official title as well as the release date to The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, it's super exciting, right? And I can't wait to see more of all the theories that the community decides to create in the future. So if you really love The Legend of Zelda series, make sure you click on this video here, as it's going to go over one of the most recent ports of Majora's Mask and why I think it's the best way for you to play Majora's Mask in 2022. Much peace and love, be the light, and remember, it's dangerous to go alone. So click into this video next.